Hello and welcome to another episode of Kyäni Wellness TV. My name is Dr. Andreas Betcher, member of the Scientific Advisory Board here at Kyäni. And in this episode of Kyäni Wellness TV, we're going to talk about the triangle of health, why supplementation is important, and the science behind our product and our mission of healthy living. Stay tuned. You know, I'm often asked, how can you sum up the benefits of the triangle of health and what Kyäni represents in 10 minutes or less? And I often chuckle at that question because it's nearly an impossible question to answer. In fact, I could probably spend an entire weekend seminar discussing the answer to that very same question. Now, I'm going to do the best that I can in this video today here in breaking down the science behind the triangle of health. But before I do, I want to make sure that you understand that Kyäni represents a company that's truly committed to healthy living. It's why I'm here. I firmly believe in the power of supplementation, as you're about to find out, but also the power of healthy living through solid, healthy food choices that help you to enjoy a healthy, abundant, and a high quality of life that allows you to age on your terms, living the active life that your body is designed to do, provided you give it the foundational elements, the tools, and the elements that it needs to express its natural, innate ability to be healthy, to help you to live that not only active and abundant life, but one that's free of pain and medications and deterioration that is so often found today among our elderly population, many of which unfortunately are due to unhealthy food choices, lifestyle choices, and of course, a lack of exercise. And this channel is truly dedicated to helping you and inform you with healthy living choices, because every single day you make choices that determine your quality of health and your potential for the future. And I think you realize that you wouldn't be watching this video if that wasn't the case. But I want you to understand the power of our mission is not only just world-class supplements, but world-class education to helping you to live your full potential. Now, why supplement? You know, that is a question that I'm often asked as I travel around the world. And I want to break that down for you with really some simple facts so that you can decide for yourself. And my opinion is of such that I'm actually, as a physician, more concerned if you are not supplementing than if you are actually are. And last I checked, you really can't overdose on high quality nutrition. You can overdose though on prescription medications. So you decide for yourself, but here's some information for you to consider when you look in particular to the average American diet. Now, I'm going to break this down for you. This is based on data from the United States Department of Agriculture, based on a book of called Eat to Live, written by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. And he talks about the standard American diet. And as you look at this pie chart, it is truly mind-boggling, and it's no wonder to understand why degenerative diseases are on the rise. Despite all the great information that we have on health and well-being and the latest, greatest biohacks and all the wonderful world discoveries of supplements, you cannot out-supplement a poor diet. Now, if you are having a poor diet, you darn well need to be supplementing for sure. But even if you are having a world-class diet, I will even tell you why you need to supplement as well. Now, of course, this is my opinion. Feel free to debate that with me. You can post your comments and questions. I welcome a healthy dialogue. But when you look at the facts, that the standard American diet is as high as, and I've seen this as high as even 60%, is coming from processed foods, meaning foods that are literally nutritionally bankrupt. They do nothing but deliver empty calories, and that's about it. And with over 1/3 of the US population now being clinically obese, not overweight, but clinically obese, we are the most well-fed nation in the world, but I would even argue so far as to say that we are also one of the most malnourished because of this statistic alone. And then of course you start factoring in the heavy use of chemicals and antibiotic use and pesticides that are found in today's processed foods and our animal meats. It's why I've done episodes and videos on why you definitely want to be looking at, grass-fed beef. You want to be looking at, pasture-raised chicken, organic foods, organic fruits and vegetables. And so when you start looking at veggies, fruits, beans, and nuts, it only compromises about 11% of your diet. And we all know that we need to be eating about 6 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day to be getting all the antioxidants and the vitamins and the polyphenols and the bioflavonoids and the anthocyanins that our body needs to ward off the damage of free radicals, the damage of pollution, to help our body detoxify, to help our body to heal, to help our body to do its many biochemical functions that we do on a daily basis that we don't even think about. And so when I look at these statistics, it's absolutely no wonder why supplementation is critically important. I mean, 85% is coming from processed meats, processed foods, and animal products as well. Now, I don't have an issue with animal products. I do have an issue of where you're getting it from, because over 80% of today's antibiotics are actually being prescribed to animals, which means you're consuming them, which can destroy your natural flora, lead to leaky gut problems, immunity dysfunctions, and all kinds of health issues as a result. So choose your food quality sources carefully. Very important. And when you look at this statistic, almost 50% of fruits and vegetables consist of French fries and ketchup. I mean, that pretty much sums up really an epidemic in today's world. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy these on occasion. I just believe in the 90-10 rule. I eat 90% of the week clean, and then 10% of the week I'll just enjoy what I want to go do with friends, be social, whatever it is. I'm human after all. The key is to flip this percentage around. Now, not to mention, you want to look at RDA versus ODA. And what's the difference? Well, you've got the recommended daily allowance, which is really just a bare minimum. These are old standards. When you look at, for example, vitamin E, I believe the recommended daily allowance is about 30 IUs, international units per day. The ODA is what's often recommended by people like myself, nutritionists, naturopaths, which is your optimal daily allowance, which is much higher than the RDA. In fact, for vitamin E, that same antioxidant, it's a fat-soluble antioxidant, it's recommended to be as high as 1,400 to 1,600 IUs a day. Now, try getting that from food. And here's my point. When you look at sunflower seeds, which is one of the most potent bioavailable forms or rich in vitamin E sources that you can consume, you would have to eat I think it's about 1.5 pounds of sunflower seeds a day to get your optimal daily allowance of vitamin E. That's a lot of calories, that's a lot of food, and even if you love sunflower seeds, I'd venture to guess you'd have a hard time eating that amount. And supplementation becomes really a wise choice because you can get the nutritionally dense antioxidants that you need without the calories that can often coincide to get your ODA. Not to mention soil depletion. These are just some statistics here that show how our soil is depleting in vital minerals like zinc, iron, and potassium, calcium, and magnesium as a result of poor farming practices, over farming, changes in soil, pesticides, pollution, the list goes on and on. Not to mention medications depleting your body of vital antioxidants and minerals as a result of their daily use to combat what I feel are sometimes medications, or majority of medications are classified as what is called maintenance medication. I believe it's as high as 75%, meaning they do absolutely nothing to correct the cause of the problem. They just simply suppress the symptoms. For example, high blood pressure does nothing, ACE inhibitors do nothing to correct the cause of high blood pressure. They artificially manipulate the numbers, which you do want to make sure you maintain healthy blood pressure levels, but they're not addressing the cause. You don't have high blood pressure because there's a lack of ACE inhibitors in your blood. There's something that's happened in your lifestyle choices as a result over time that has led to a dysfunction in that number. And many people aren't willing to make the lifestyle choices. They just say, oh, I'll just take this. That'll take care of it. I don't need to address any other lifestyle factors and hopefully get that number into the normal reference range. But again, medications, all we know, come with side effects, and one of them is depleting the vital minerals and antioxidants and vitamins that the body needs. Not to mention alcohol and smoking are known toxins that destroy the liver's ability to help process fat-soluble antioxidants, cause toxic effects in themselves, and strip the body of vital nutrients that it needs. In fact, there's statistics that show that more than 95%, this is my opinion as well, of chronic disease is caused by food choices, toxic ingredients, nutritional deficiencies, and a lack of exercise. And I've asked audiences around the world, how many of you are eating 6 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day? And barely a hand goes up. And that already tells me that you're nutritionally deficient. And then combine that with a simple lack of exercise, which we all know that we inevitably should do, but then unfortunately many of us just, if we're honest, sit on the couch, kind of wait for that feeling to go away and then do nothing about it. So it's incredibly important, in our opinion, to help get you the nutrition that you need, that you supplement with a high-quality superfood nutritional blend with the antioxidants, both water-soluble and fat-soluble antioxidants, and help get a delivery source so that you get the most bioavailable forms into your blood supply where they can yield their beneficial effects so that you can get the ROI on your hard-earned dollars when you are supplementing with high quality products like the Triangle of Health. And so what I want to do is I'm going to break down our 3 core products of the Triangle of Health and some of the science behind them and why we've selected them so that you can decide what's best for you and your family. And I'm also going to show you how they were designed so that you can really easily fit them into your life, consume them on a daily basis without a second thought, and yield the benefits thereof. So let's talk about Sunrise for a minute. It's a full complement superfood that is not only GMP certified, but it's also Safe Quality Food certified, which is another level of certifications well above good manufacturing practices. It's an independent company that comes in and actually evaluates every part of our manufacturing process to ensure that what we say is in the product is actually in the product. And it's combined with over 22 powerful superfoods that you are likely not getting and delivering those vital antioxidants and polyphenols and bioflavonoids and anthocyanins that the body needs to help detox and cleanse and provide the free radical support or to combat the free radicals as a result of breathing, toxicities, pesticides, stress, and so forth on a daily basis. And so we've taken a full complement of some of the world's most powerful superfoods that is anchored by the wild Alaskan blueberry. Now I've got episodes on these powerful ingredients in and of themselves, so you can start to see why this is really difficult for me to sum up in just 10 or even 15 or even 30 minutes for that matter, because I could break down every single one of all the science behind the acai berry, the aronia berry, we look at the grapeseed and the broccoli and the amla, one of the richest sources and bioavailable forms of vitamin C, the ascorbination format that you can use and consume, the maca berry, the mangosteen, the ashwagandha, the ginseng, all of which we know are very good for us. And this is why we've put this into our formula, anchored, of course, by the wild Alaskan blueberry, in particular the species, the Vaccinium alaskanense. And so this powerful superfood is farmed, actually, it is wild source, which means it's actually better than organic, meaning we don't have vast pre-laid out farmlands where we grow the wild Alaskan blueberry. We literally pick it as it is found in nature, and there's an abundant, rich supply of the Alaskan blueberry throughout Canada and of course Alaska, where we source this powerful blueberry. Why? Because it's able to sustain the harsh climates that are found in these regions because of their rich antioxidants, oxidant capability to not only defend itself from the harsh climates, but also to help your body defend itself from the bombardment of stress and pollution and pesticides and so forth. And so it is sourced wild as it is found in nature. Now the wild Alaskan blueberry is found here, and this is a source of the International Journal of Circumpolar Health in 2013, that talks about the antioxidant potency of the blueberry is 5 times. I've even seen it as high in some studies as 10 times as high as the common raspberries, cranberries, and the common blueberry found in the lower 48 states. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know where you're going to find wild Alaskan blueberry, and I live here in San Diego, and I don't see it on the shelf here. Benefits: boosting energy, heart health, supports the immune system, and encourages a healthy digestive tract. 1 ounce serving of our Kyäni Sunrise is the equivalent of consuming 5 servings of fruits and vegetables in one convenient dose that is designed for you to take in the morning. It is also loaded with trace minerals, 60 plus trace minerals that are depleted, as we talked about, in today's soil. Critical for enzymatic cofactors, structural support, nerve and muscle action, and vitamin function, and these are minerals that the body cannot produce. All right, so let's talk about the power of nitro-nutrition. This is a second key core component in our triangle of health. Now, when I talk about the power of nitro-nutrition, you have to understand, if you don't already, and understand the molecule known as nitric oxide. Now, many years ago, it was thought to be called endothelial relaxation factor. This is a molecule that's secreted by, if you excuse my archaic garden hose here. So if we imagine this being an artery, and inside every artery is a thin layer of smooth muscle known as the endothelium. And the endothelium secretes and produces the nitric oxide. Why? So that your arteries don't get hard and stiff like this, so that they remain soft and pliable and can expand and deliver nutrition and remove waste products throughout the human body. This is over 33,000 miles of arteries and veins that are found throughout your entire body, that it's responsible for maintaining the elasticity and the pliability, not to mention a whole host of other functions. And it was later discovered and awarded the Nobel Prize of Medicine, has over 160,000 studies, because this signaling molecule has been the most researched and most powerful molecules known to man today because of its wide-reaching effects. These are just some of the systems that nitric oxide affects. And so everything from your cardiovascular system to your respiratory tract to the musculoskeletal system, cellular function, nervous system function, immune system function, gastrointestinal tract, and of course even sexual health. This molecule is critically important to the longevity and the health and well-being, and also to get the most from the nutrition and the supplementation that you consume on a daily basis. I'm assuming if you supplement or you're eating a healthy diet, that you would want to make sure you're getting the best from your nutrition, because your nutrition is only as good as actually what's being absorbed. Nitric oxide, as discovered in Gut Health here in this international journal, Gastroenterology and Hepatology, is talking about the role of nitric oxide in intestinal water and electrolyte transport. Here's the conclusion, right? It's involved in intestinal water transport by either acting directly on the epithelium, which I talked about, stimulating neuronal reflexes, and stimulating other release agents from the epithelium, but also affecting mucosal and splanchnic blood flow to the small intestines, where nutrition is actually being absorbed. So by shuttling more blood and increasing the dilation of blood vessels, you're going to be able to get more from your nutrition. So this becomes very important. In fact, there was another study here in Gut 1996 that compared nitric oxide groups, 2 different groups here versus a control in mesenteric blood flow, that those who had the nitric oxide in upwards of 100 to 170% increase of blood flow to where nutrition is actually being absorbed. Now here's the challenge, or the problem I should say. Nitric oxide levels as we age naturally decline. And it can become a very vicious cycle. And let me talk to you about this some more. And this is a very important slide to understand, because we talk so much today about cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, and strokes, and you likely have someone in your family, unfortunately, that has been affected by them. I know I've had. And so what we want to understand, that in majority of those cases, and I've done this in other episodes of Kyäni Wellness TV, that the heart and the brain are actually fine in the case of a heart attack and a stroke. What's the problem? Well, the problem is the buildup of this nasty plaque and this gunk that is a result of all the poor dietary choices that we talked about earlier, alcohol and smoking and stress, and then the natural declining of nitric oxide production as we age. As a result, when that happens, it's a perfect storm that happens slowly over time. And this is what I want most people to realize, because that heart attack or that stroke just didn't happen overnight. That's been an event that's been building and waiting to happen for years. And the same garden hose now you'll see here is very stiff and it's very hard. Your blood vessels should actually be soft and pliable. And I don't have one here with me, and I've done this in other episodes, but if you've ever seen those garden hoses that are very soft, you can twist them all around, and then when you fill them with water, they expand and they get longer and they coil up and they don't coil on themselves. That's how your arteries should be designed. Nitric oxide is the critical molecule that is essential to preventing the atherosclerosis, the hardening of arteries, and the atherosclerosis, the buildup of the gunk and the plaque that often break free, that then cause the cardiovascular event, the heart attack or the stroke. And most people are not talking in health today about maintaining the health and the vitality of over 33,000 miles of blood vessels. As I mentioned earlier, I know I'm being a bit repetitive, but I cannot emphasize this enough. So I thank you for your understanding and patience on that. Here's something else that's really important. This right here, if you can see in the camera, is actually almond butter that I put in. And I put this in a couple of months ago, and I don't know if you can hear it now, but it is pretty daggone hard. Now, when I first put that almond butter in there, it was soft and messy and gooey, but over time it hardens just like it does inside. And unfortunately, how hard can it get? Well, my father-in-law, unfortunately, has had multiple strokes as a result of neglecting his diabetes. And how hard, my point in sharing this with you is that the plaque that has built up in his arteries as a result of what we've been talking about has gotten so hard that a diamond carbide drill, one that could easily drill through concrete, through a rock, cannot penetrate and drill through the hardening and the calcification and the plaque that is built up inside his arteries. This is not something to play with. Maintaining healthy levels of nitric oxide are critical to your health and well-being. Now, there are two different ways in which nitric oxide can produce, and I'm just going to go over this biochemistry really quick. Don't worry, I'm not going to go knee deep into this. Hang in there with me. Two different pathways. This is the most common that you'll see in bodybuilding supplements. If you've heard of nitric oxide, most people just think it just relates to the bodybuilding world because of its boosting performance and its ability to reduce time to fatigue and to help increase your intensity levels and so forth in terms of workouts. There's the L-arginine, L-citrulline pathway that basically combines with oxygen, NO synthase enzyme to form the NO and then eventually yield to the biological effects. But it has to go through the digestive tract. Part of these reactions occur in the kidney as well. It can be an effective pathway, but again, this even declines as we age. In fact, L-arginine has been shown to not be as effective as a way of boosting nitric oxide. Now, there's tremendous other benefits for L-arginine. That's for a whole other video at another time. But my point is that once you understand that there's another way in which you can get the nitric oxide that your body needs. This is the nitrate, nitrite, nitric oxide pathway. And this can come directly from your diet by consuming nitrates, and I'll talk about that more in just a second. They combine with the bacterial enzymes inside your mouth, and this is really important that I recommend that you do, is that especially because I'm about to show you some natural sources for these nitrates, is that you don't consume mouthwash. I'd rather you just simply brush your teeth, maintain oral hygiene, floss your teeth, scrape your tongue, rather than over-consuming or using mouthwash too much. Why? Because it will kill off the natural bacteria inside your mouth that are critical to helping you to form nitric oxide. And so this then forms the nitrite that then goes into the acidity of the stomach, converts it into NO, that then yields into its biological effects. This is a quicker pathway, and it's easily achieved by consuming many of the foods that you see here on this list. And we had lots of arugula last night. We were enjoying an arugula pear salad, which was actually fantastic. Tasted just wonderful, actually. And my point is, I'm sorry, I digress. Here's the deal. Most people, though, aren't consuming these on a consistent, regular basis. I mean, like clockwork. And so sometimes it is important that you supplement, and that's exactly why we put together our Nitro FX and our Nitro Extreme products. This is literally the equivalent of consuming a cup of spinach in one convenient oral dose that you can take with you anywhere you go. And I'm going to show you here towards the end of the video how you put this together with our Triangle of Health to get the benefits and get the benefits of the nutrition absorption for which of the studies that I just talked about here in a minute. And the beautiful thing is that we source this from organic noni. A noni is one of the most powerful superfoods that is rich in nitrates. And so it's the equivalent, like I said, of having a cup of spinach without the hassle of it or cleaning it and boiling it or whatever you're doing to consume it. Not to mention it's not also the most palatable all the time. I mean, I do enjoy it from time to time, but not my favorite. But again, you have other sources for these as well, but sometimes these just aren't available. So it's really important to have a convenient dose. And again, this is something you really can't overdose on. So let's talk about our third product in our Triangle of Health to help put this all together. Sunrise water soluble nitro for enhanced delivery and absorption, reducing time to fatigue, helping with athletic performance and all the other things that we talked about earlier. And then of course our Sunset lipid soluble product. So let's talk about that for a minute. Excuse the animation there, but Kyäni is committed to world-class supplements, and I've got a whole separate video on Wellness TV about all of our certifications. But real quick, it does have the Monday International Gold Standard Quality Award because of its powerful blend of nutritionals of wild omega-3s, the most potent form of vitamin E, vitamin A, and of course vitamin D. And I'm going to talk about all these here real quickly and wrap this all up for you. And of course, our omega-3 fatty acids that are found in the Kyäni Sunset is one of the most powerful nutritional supplements that you could supplement with. In fact, some studies show that deficiency in omega-3 fatty acids is linked to over 96,000 deaths here in the United States every single year. We get plenty of omega-6s and omega-9s, but the majority, I believe, like 9 out of 10 Americans are deficient in omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acids are essential for maintaining a healthy inflammatory response, for cognitive health and brain function, and joint health, and the list honestly goes on and on. And again, we source it wild from Alaska, and it's IFO certified by the International Fish Oil Standard, meaning that our fish oil is free of contaminants, free of radiation, and free of mercury. Very important, and many products out there in fish oils cannot state that. Next, our tocotrienols. This is the most potent and bioavailable form of vitamin E. And again, I have a whole episode on tocotrienols all in of itself and the science behind it. It's incredibly exciting. In fact, 90% of the research today in vitamin E is based on tocotrienols. The most common form that you'll see, and there's 8 different forms of vitamin E. When you see supplements today, is the alpha tocopherol, and you need all of them. But I strongly encourage you to really understand and take the time to understand tocotrienols, especially the delta and the gamma. We have the right ratio inside of our Sunset formula. because of its powerful ability to help maintain a healthy cell response. It is shown to reduce angiogenesis or blood supply development to abnormal tissue growth. It's also shown to enhance or increase apoptosis, natural cell death of abnormal cell tissue growth. And it's also very powerful in reducing the oxidation of LDL, quote unquote, the bad cholesterol, which is really the problem when it comes to developing atherosclerosis. It's the oxidation. That's what you really want to be able to prevent, as well as, of course, having a great ratio of HDL to LDL, which we'll talk about in another episode. Which makes the tocotrienol more bioavailable is its chemical structure. So here we want to talk about another study that was done in the British Journal of Medicine and Medical Research, talking about lipid modulation in terms of tocotrienol's ability to maintain healthier levels of cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides by these amounts versus that of a control group. Also, we've also added vitamin A, which is more than just eye health, a very strong antioxidant that supports not only eye health, but healthy immunity, inflammation, skin, bone health, cholesterol, and healthy tissue repair. And then vitamin D. Again, another episode of Kyäni Wellness TV is on vitamin D all in of itself. And vitamin D is so critical. It's actually more of a hormone than it is that of a vitamin because it's involved in so many cellular reactions. Now, in fact, some studies will show that maintaining healthy levels of vitamin D can reduce your risk of cancer by as high as 60%. And I even live here in sunny San Diego, and I still have the need to supplement because I do have my vitamin D levels checked to maintain those healthy levels. So supplementation, again, another reason for the importance thereof. But here's the thing, 95% of Americans are actually low in vitamin D, 94% are low in vitamin A, 51% are low in vitamin E, and 43% are low in vitamin C. And these are all vital micronutrients that our Triangle of Health is rich in, with some of the best sources available on the planet to help deliver these essential nutrients that your body needs. Also, an independent study talking about the effects of sunset on the production of IL-1B, which is an inflammatory marker that's been linked to cardiopulmonary disease. And this is by activated monocytes and macrophages. It's the percent of inhibition versus a control. And you can see here that even at a 10% concentration or 5% concentration of sunsets and upwards of 75, closer to about 80% inhibition of these inflammatory markers that can be linked to some of the cardiovascular disease. Now, again, I'm not claiming to treat or cure anything. That's not what we do. What we do is help give you the body the tools that it needs so that you can be as healthy as possible as you age and encounter the life that's filled with often stress and pollution and pesticides. And again, the list goes on and on. So again, sunset promotes cardiovascular health, healthy inflammatory response, skin, hair, cognitive function, and promotes a healthy immune response. And again, you can see here that we are IFO certified by the International Fish Oil Standards for the reasons that I mentioned already earlier. So how do you put this powerful triangle of health together for you and your family? Well, our best product, or our best science, honestly, is that when we get these products in you and your family, is to let them speak for themselves. They are truly powerful. Now, I want you to understand something that's very important. Many people have the false expectation that as soon as they start taking something, they expect something overnight. We recently kind of informally surveyed many of our audience members at our convention, where we literally have hundreds of thousands of customers worldwide, and asked them, how many of you noticed a difference in 7 days? Not many hands went up. How many of you took 30 days? Few more hands went up. How many of it took 60 days? More hands went up. How many of you took 90 days? Hands up. How many of you actually didn't even notice any benefit until you stopped taking it? And a lot more hands went up. My point is this, is that you have to follow what we call a 90-day protocol. Today's health and well-being and some of the choices that many of us have made have been going on for years. And for us to have the expectation that we can somehow undo years worth of neglect and damage and poor choices in just one product or one supplement over time, it doesn't work that way. The human physiology takes time to adapt, to assimilate the new nutrition and allow the body to start to awaken that doctor within. And the more you've neglected it, the longer it's going to take. It just simply makes sense. So I want to help you to manage expectations and make a commitment to your health and your well-being, whether it's through our triangle of health or your own lifestyle choices or whatever you decide to do after watching this video. Make that commitment to yourself. Ask yourself, how do you want to age, and are the choices you're making today congruent with that decision? We've designed this to be as easy as possible for you. 1 ounce of Sunrise with nitro in the morning to get you all the water-soluble antioxidants and to boost the nitric oxide levels, to increase that mesenteric blood flow so that you can get the bioavailability and the power of the nutrition that's found in our Kyäni Sunrise. Use the Nitro Extreme throughout the day for enhanced delivery and performance, mental focus, acuity, energy, etc. And then combine it again in the evening with our Sunset before bed, so that you can have a relaxation and sleep and get the fat-soluble antioxidants that your body needs and get the most from our nutrition. And by doing so, you're giving your body a full complement of the antioxidants, the vitamins, and the minerals, and the fat-soluble antioxidants that we all need to get from somewhere. And if you're not getting it from the triangle of health, and you're not getting it consistently every single day from your nutrition, where are you going to get it? So we strongly encourage you to give our products a try, to understand their value and their benefits by making a commitment and becoming a part of our healthy living movement. Post your comments, your questions below. Thank you for your time today. And as always, here from all of us at Kyäni, we wish you the best in healthy living.